Arapaima. It is the largest known freshwater fish and can weigh hundreds of pounds. However, they are also caring parents, as the male Arapaima cares for his young in his mouth after they hatch from eggs. 5 Incredible Arapaima, Pirarucu, facts. Famous food. Arapaima fish were featured on the famous cooking show Iron Chef America as a secret ingredient. Big gulp. Arapaima fish use the gulp method to feed, which means they suck prey in close to the surface of the water using their large mouths. Air breathers. Arapaima fish have oxygen bladders and breathe air for most of their lives. Only young Arapaima fish have gills. Gigantic fish. They are the largest freshwater fish in the world. Bony tongues. They are known as bony tongue fish, and their tongues used to crush prey against the roofs of their mouths. Arapaima, Pirarucu, classification and scientific name. The name of the genus Arapaima comes from the Tupi-Guarani word for this freshwater fish. They are also known as Pirarucu in Brazil, which roughly translated means red fish. In Peru, they are called peixe. Arapaima was once thought to be a genus of only one species, Arapaima gigas. Because of this, Arapaima gigas is the most well-researched of all of the subspecies. However, as many as 4 separate species have been discovered, with the most recent one found in the Solimões River in Brazil. Arapaima leptosoma, discovered in 2013, comes from the Greek word leptos, which means slender, and soma, which means body. Arapaima mapai comes from the Lago do Amapa in Brazil, which is where it gets its scientific name. The final species, Arapaima agassiz, was named after famous biologist Louis Agassiz. Arapaima, Pirarucu, species. 4 species of Arapaima have been classified so far. Arapaima gigas, the most well-studied of all of the species. Lives in the Amazon River basin and is actively fished for its meat, scales, and bony tongue. Arapaima mapai has a maximum length of 2 meters, and is found in the Lago do Amapa in Brazil. Arapaima leptosoma, discovered in 2013 in the Solimões River in Brazil. It is distinguished from other species by being especially slender. Arapaima agassiz, named after biologist Louis Agassiz, has fewer rows of teeth than Arapaima gigas. Found in the Brazilian Amazon. Arapaima, Pirarucu, appearance. These fish are both long and heavy. They can reach up to 10 feet in length, with some sources claiming a maximum length of 15 feet, 4.7 meters. They weigh up to 220 kilograms, 485 pounds. They have copper-green heads and black bodies, with lighter scales in the center. Their tails are covered in red scales, which is where the name, Pirarucu, or red fish, comes from. The fish's large, bony scales protect them from piranhas and other natural predators of the rainforest. The scales can be up to 6 centimeters long each. They have long, narrow bodies and tail fins that are round and small, which work well for them in the slow-moving rivers that they call home. Their dorsal fins stretch along their backs. Their bony tongues are the defining characteristic of the bony tongue fish or osteoglossiforms. Arapaima, Pirarucu, distribution, population, and habitat. All species are native to South America, particularly in Brazil, Peru, and Guyana. They can be found in various parts of the floodplains of the Amazon River basin. They prefer slow-moving, freshwater. This type of water is usually swampy and devoid of oxygen, which does not bother them. These fish breathe air using an oxygen bladder and can stay underwater for up to 20 minutes. They can survive outside of water for over 24 hours. Because they need to be breathing air constantly, they do not dive very deeply and stick to the surface of the water. There is not enough data on the population size of the Arapaima genus, so their conservation status is data deficient. Despite this fact, large Arapaima is protected by restrictions on harvesting and exporting. This is because large Arapaima has been harder to find in the wild, likely due to overfishing and habitat loss. Arapaima, Pirarucu, predators and prey. These fish mostly eats other species of fish found in the slow-moving waters they call home. They are able to position themselves beneath their prey and gulp at them near the surface of the water. This action creates a suction-like vortex that forces the prey into the Arapaima's mouth. There, the prey is crushed by their bony tongues and rows of hard teeth. They are also known to eat fruit and seeds that fall near the water's surface. Because of their tough layer of scales, adults have few natural predators. Rainforest caiman is the only creature known to prey on them. Baby Arapaima, called fry, are often preyed upon by other species of fish, particularly various species of cichlid. Humans are by far the largest threat to these fish. They have been considered a food source by local South Americans for countless years, and they are also exported in limited amounts to chefs and kitchens around the world. Overfishing has caused a decline in Arapaima populations. Arapaima, Pirarucu, reproduction and lifespan. Arapaima breeding happens in concurrence with the flooding and dry seasons in their habitat. For half of the year, there are drought conditions, and for the other half, there are flooding conditions. During the drought seasons, most often February, March, and April, the female Arapaima digs a nest with her mate. This nest is about 20 inches wide by 8 inches deep and is dug into the soft mud. There, the female deposits up to 50,000 eggs, which the male then fertilizes. When the young are born, the male Arapaima raises them in his mouth. The Arapaima fry are a dark color, so the male's head turns dark to disguise and camouflage them. In order to keep them close, the Myli Arapaima releases a pheromone from his head that attracts the offspring and keeps them close. Meanwhile, the female swims nearby and guards the young against predators. Because the eggs are laid in the dry season, the offspring hatch and are able to flourish during the floodwaters of the rainy season. Both parents help aerate the water for them, as young Arapaima still breathe with gills. These gills slowly cease to function as they age. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please, if you are enriched by our video like so YouTube can show this to more people, subscribe and share, we will really appreciate it. Thanks.